All right, good morning, good afternoon, good night. It depends your time and your location. UNSR no bossing ketana Eastern News 24. I seen about to Oma ni Yoma Budoma, Stanangara babies Venezuela. No one young kind of old Eastern Legion. The guys who couldn't connect you daily update back to back as they happen. I gonna drop in Niba no bossing keta. I would tell you Nukozi again, ya be favor Biafran chief of staff. Alright, achọrọ m ka ị gee ya bụ ife okwu n'iru akwụkwọ n'ụbọchị nke taa dịka isi kwuru nkwa na ga na-enye unu update one bụ gbasata maka ihe na-eme na Eastern Region and the update on Biafran Prime Minister. Alright, dịka ihe ga ya bụ ife chief of staff kwuru n'iru akwụkwọ of Biafran Republic Government n'eze ị ga-esi anyị drop ụra ife iche n'ụdị nke gị gbasata maka ya bụ ife ndị a niile ọ rụtagasị aka o kwuru n'iru akwụkwọ n'ụbọchị uhuruchi nke taa. Alright, over to you.
Biafra. All hail Biafra. All hail the United States of Biafra. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We made it. We made it. That's why we are Biafrans. What we did, we shocked them. We shocked the world. This is to show the world that what we do is not determined by an individual. When the spirit of Biafra leads us, we move non-stop. So we are in the Independence Week. It could last a week, it could last 2 weeks, it could last 3 weeks, it could last a month, but that 29th of November is sacrosanct. And there was a reason Biafrans decided to shock the zoo, and we did it. Because of the history of this Biafra Republic government in exile and de facto, because of the lies and some of these little things they did to our PM, we can't trust nobody. We can't. Don't trust me. I'm not begging nobody to trust me. Yeah. And I'm not going to trust you, you know. But we, as Biafran, we are going to start to learn to trust each other. So, on behalf of our Prime Minister, His Excellency, the Obadobie, the Peace Ambassador, Anongan Kampi, His Excellency Simon Eber, we Biafrans, we thank you and we greet you for bringing freedom to the United States of Biafra. Finland says, with their local zoo agents hanging around Finland, that our Prime Minister is inciting us. Inciting is the word. And they think if he doesn't talk to us, if they take away his phone, if they don't allow him to talk to any of us, then we are not going to be incited, right? That was their thought, right? That was their mentality. Just like the zoo thought that when they take Onyendu and lock him up, we are not going to talk about Biafra anymore. Nobody is going to say anything about our freedom anymore. That is their mentality. So that little children's mentality that went into the Nigerian zoo government is now seeping into Finland somehow. But we have a message for them. If I am gone today, There are people that be more deadly than me that will raise up to move this struggle. USB. That is something they do not understand, or they do understand, but they think they can suppress us. They think with these little shenanigans they can down our spirit. They think with all those maneuvers for Africans to continue to be the slave to the white man, they can continue to reap our resources, drill our mineral resources, take our oil reserves by intimidating us. I have a word for the Western world. I have a word for the Western world. This crop of Africans you have at this time, you can never intimidate them. We are fearless. We are intelligent. We are economically stable. We have the money to match you, man to man, fire to fire, money to money, anywhere you bring it. Is to let us have our rights, to let us build our countries, to help us build our communities, to let our people enjoy those things that all of us here are offering and helping you in the first world, whatever country we are in the diaspora, whatever we are helping you to build in this country outside. We want to take it home to our people. I think that is a fair statement. It is fair. It's a fair statement. We can always come and visit you. We can always come and visit our businesses we have in diaspora. But we must go home and establish our homes. We cannot continue to have the best doctors in the world in diaspora, the best nurse practitioners, the best nurses, the best engineers, the best lawyers, and they are practicing in diaspora while our own people back home, they are dying of high blood pressure, diabetes, basic health care. They are not getting it. And you think, if you are working with any foreign government, just like Michael Rubin, our guest speaker, is trying to tell the international leaders right now, including Finland, if you think that these people that have been in Finland for the past 3-4 days, we have been in Finland, we have been making us, we have been talking, we are looking for those that think that what we are doing is wrong. We want them to come out. Yes. Simon Ekpa did is exactly what this other 1,000 people gathered here will do it, and we will continue to do it. Nobody, if the zoo government likes, if the Nigerian government under President Tinubu, if they like to hold our leader Nnamdi Kanu for the next 100 years, if Finland, that is known as one of the freest countries in the world, could succumb to this little child's play, being engineered by Nigerian agents in this Finland that are some Biafrans too, if they succumb to this, then they've dented their image. But we Biafrans, we hold Finland at a very high esteem. And we will watch how this is going to play out between Finland, Biafra, and Nigeria government. And at the end of the day, they will know that Obato Obie, this little thing they did to him, thinking it's going to hurt him, hurt us, it has made us.
Even the initial declaration of an independent state of Biafra and the 13-month civil war in which more than 5 million of our compatriots perished was not enough to steer Nigeria towards that elusive, inclusive, and prosperous future. Rather, despite its false claim of no victor, no vanquished, and false promises of the triple R, which refers to reconciliation, rehabilitation, and reconstruction, the Nigeria government constantly pursued a winner-takes-it-all policy discernibly reflective of a master-slave relationship. We have endured all this with so much reluctance to complain. We have resorted to self-help and strived to provide for ourselves basic necessities of life that ordinarily governments across the world provide for their citizens. We have carried on in the face of unimaginable hardship until our very existence became threatened beyond human tolerance limits. In 1999, we started nonviolent agitation with flags. Instead of sending negotiators to address our agitation, the Nigeria government resorted to systematic killings of our people, aiming to exterminate all the agitators and killing tens of thousands of Biafrans in the process, and harvesting the organs of thousands of those they abducted. Nigeria government intensified its widespread massacre of Biafra people under the Fulani-controlled government of Muhammadu Buhari in 2015 and has continued since then. Our leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu escaped assassination when Nigeria military invaded his home on September 17, 2017, an invasion that left 28 other Biafrans dead. 3 years later, Nigeria went as far as abducting our leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in Kenya and renditioning him to Nigeria in June 2021, and has detained him in solitary confinement for more than 3 years now despite 2 Nigeria court judgments and a United Nations work group on arbitrary detention mandating his release with compensation. These ongoing brutalities against our people serve as frequent reminder that the war that supposedly ended in 1970 never really ended. In response to the various shades of existential threats Nigeria is presenting to the people of Biafra, and out of the natural law of self-defense and consistent with the United Nations and African Union charters on people's right to self-defense, we started carrying arms officially in 2022. Now, therefore, to protect ourselves from government-sponsored violence, we have reached an incontrovertible conclusion that self-determination and self-governance are the only viable permanent solutions against ongoing violence orchestrated by the Nigeria state against the indigenous people of Biafra, and both give us state power to protect ourselves from external aggression, such as invasion by Fulanis from other countries, which Nigeria is not preventing but facilitating. On the basis of these and many more grievances listed hereunder, and knowing fully well that we are a group of people confronting several extenuating circumstances that collectively make our people an endangered species, and knowing fully well that the only means for our collective survival is self-preservation and self-determination, we are taking these steps to declare the restoration of the independence of the United States of Biafra, also known as the Confederating States of Biafra. Before independence in 1960, population distribution in Nigeria conformed to global trends, in which population centers are in lower elevation regions with better climate and easy access to water, food, and shelter. In 1960, Nigeria was comprised of 3 supposedly equal regions: North with 14 provinces, East with 12 provinces, and West with 9 provinces. This meant that the North had 14 provinces, while the South had 21 provinces. However, after independence, and with political power in the hands of unscrupulous elements from the North, the geopolitical distortion began in the most senseless manners. Nigeria became a country where human settlements violated laws of nature, with outrageous claims that more people live in the hot, arid north than the mild coastal south. Gradual and arbitrary creation of states by mainly military leaders from the north over the years resulted in the north today having 19 states and 414 local government areas, while the South has 17 states and 355 local government areas. This distortion in the geopolitical structure of Nigeria has been used to politically and economically marginalize the people of Biafra. Because the number of states and local governments are directly used for political representation and revenue allocation to the disadvantage of the South, even though as much as 90% of the resources sustaining Nigeria come from oil and gas resources in Biafra land. Distortions in geopolitical structure, resource control, religious incompatibility, and a larger ambition by the Fulani oligarchy to make Nigeria a Fulani country are at the core of instability and insecurity in Nigeria. And all avenues by indigenous people to seek redress have been met with brute force. Such brute force has resulted in military invasion of numerous communities in Biafra land and indiscriminate killings of people in those communities at genocidal scale. For example, Section 1 of the Biafra Declaration Handbook captures several of the Nigeria government-sponsored killings in the hinterland of the United States of Biafra, also called the Southeast, as well as the South-South. Notably, Ezu River massacre under Governor Peter Obi, Onisha Mpo massacre under Governor Obiano, Obaru massacres under Governor Soludo, Obibo massacre under Governor Wike, Ohafia and Aba massacres, including 150 youths praying at Ngwa High School and another hundreds of innocent Biafrans on a parade in Aba, as well as the invasion of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's home that left at least 28 people dead under Governor Ikpeazu. Also, widespread Ebonyi massacres under Governor Umahi, widespread Enugu massacres under Governor Ugwuanyi, widespread Imo massacres, including repeated invasions of Izombe, Olo, Osu, under Governor Zodimma. Nigeria terrorist forces also unleashed mayhem and killed hundreds of Biafrans who were celebrating in Port Harcourt Donald Trump's victory in the 2016 US presidential election. In all days, tens of thousands of Biafrans have been killed. But the coastal regions of Biafra have also not been spared in these killings, and more than 4,000 people were killed between 1999 and 2024. In particular, Ode massacre in 1999, Kwale massacres in 1999, and ongoing Ozoro Ole massacres 1999, 2003, Uweru massacres 2021 to 2023, Okuama massacre 2024, Olodiama massacre 2024, and not to forget one of the worst recorded massacres in human history in Asaba, 1967-70. Also, the eastern flank of Biafra, covering former Cross River and Akwa Ibom states, has its record of Nigeria government-sponsored killings, including in 2021 when Nigeria military invaded the following communities with substantial loss of lives: Afahat, Ekot Apan, Okan, Owa, Ekot Afanga, Ntok Nsek, Ekot Upon Eto, Ekot Otu, Ekot Obok, Ntak Ekot Akan, and some other communities. Since after the 2021 invasion, the military has maintained presence there and are frequently abducting people, killing them, harvesting their organs, snatching people's wives, and raping our women. They maintain checkpoints where travelers must disembark from their vehicles with arms raised while passing the checkpoint on foot. This pattern of military and police intimidation is commonplace in the whole of Biafra land. It beats our imagination how people's lives can be devalued this much in one's native country. In contrast, There has never been military invasion of communities in northern Nigeria, just as there are rarely communal clashes in the north, unlike the south. Because of Nigeria government's divide and rule strategy in the south, several communities are separated from historical alliances and forced into new ones, often with poorly defined boundaries. Such machinations by the Nigeria government have been responsible for the spate of boundary-inspired communal clashes in Biafra land, which is relatively absent in the north. The United States of Biafra will reunite communities along natural and historical boundaries and bring an end to boundary disputes. Aside from killings directly conducted by Nigeria government, various Fulani-affiliated terrorist groups such as Boko Haram, ISWAP, Fulani herdsmen, in their desire to displace indigenous people and take over their lands, are invading communities and slaughtering them in a scale never seen before. For example, many Fulani installed kings and political appointees forcefully seize indigenous people's lands and transfer the lands to Fulanis. The Oba of Benin is reported to have sold in 3 years 1,200 acres of land to Aligoke Dangote, and Dangote trucks are used to ship in Fulani terrorists into these lands, from where the Fulanis operate and unleash terror in the neighboring communities and the entire coastal region, especially in Eka State, former Delta State, where the kidnappers in Eka land come from Benin, former Edo State. The Fulani terrorists and kidnappers in Awo, in Abovo County, reportedly will make you cook for them, cook for the terrorists, and have you watch them rape your wife in order to spare your life.
Ende by Guadalupe and Kunisi, when I saw any many local. Ubosi uru chinketa na Eastern News 24 baba siwele uteru ya bozi dika sipono kona gene uteru update wasta maka kosi ya botu kosi ya danebe di chiche kefi wale kui wasta maka ya bife no idwa upo ubosi uru chinketa drop ora ifiche no dinkege on the comment below na Eastern News 24 kemesi anu munem.